Hi children, good morning everybody. This is me wishing you everyone a happy and lovely day. In this video, we are going to see the figures of speech in the poem The Grumble Family. Okay, so this is the last video of this poem. Let us discuss about the figures of speech in the poem. So already you know very well to identify rhyming words and the rhyme scheme, right? So in this first stanza you're having there is a family nobody likes to meet. They live, it is said, on complaining street. So here meet and street are rhyming and satisfied and beside are rhyming. So here we can choose A for meet, street, and satisfied and beside are rhyming. So BB. So the rhyme scheme of this stanza is A B B. Okay. So in the second stanza, this amiss, humble, grumble. So again A. So here we can name it as CCDD. Okay, so in the next stanza, cold and scold are rhyming, meet and street are rhyming. So EFF. And again in next stanza, sun, done, doubt, about. Next same, name, he, see. And in the next stanza, stays, ways, jumble, grumble. Next feet, street, do, too. And next, song and wrong are rhyming and humble and grumble are rhyming. So continuously you can choose the alphabets. Okay. And if they are asking as a separate stanza, suppose if they are giving this last stanza and if you are asking what is the rhyme scheme of this stanza, you have to write it AABB. Okay. Okay, so you have to write the rhyme scheme as AABB. So all the stanza in this poem are rhyming as AABB. See, for the whole poem we are giving continuous alphabets. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. So if they are giving last stanza and if they are asking you what is the rhyme scheme, you should not write OOPP. Okay, you have to write it as AABB. So all this stanza in this poem are rhyming as AA and BB, right? So the rhyme scheme and rhyming words are very easy to identify. Next one is alliterated words. So all of you know how to identify the alliterated words. Okay, so both will be having the same sound. So you should be always care in choosing the alliteration. It is not that it should have the begin with the same letter. ஒரே letterல begin ஆனா alliteration சொல்லிட முடியாது. It should begin with the same sound and the same letter. Same sound இருக்கணும். Same letter இருந்தாலும் it should have same sound. Then only you can call it as alliteration. Right? See, for example here, high, humble. Okay, so these two are alliterated words. So like this, there are so many alliterations you can identify yourself. See, they, that, this. Okay, so these are alliterated words like this. So many alliterations are there. You can identify it yourself. In the next thing what we are going to see is, see here in your book it is given anaphora. So this is new to you, right? So what is anaphora? An anaphora is a technique where several phrases or verses in a poem begin with the same word or words. Okay, so if the poem lines begin with the same word or words, then we call it as anaphora. See here, what is repeated? they growl at the rain, and they growl at the sun. So they growl is often repeated, right? So we can call this as an example for anaphora, right? So this is very simple. If the lines are beginning with them same words or same letters, we can call it as anaphora. See in this poem, see here we can see they growl at that, they growl at this. So if they are giving this poem line and if they are asking what is the figure of speech, you can write it as anaphora. So likewise here we can see they growl at the rain and they growl at the sun. So it is beginning with the same phrase, they growl. Okay, so if they are giving these two lines and if they are asking what is the figure of speech, you can write it as anaphora, right? Okay, next one. So the next thing is also very new to you, that is epithet. Okay, so what is an epithet? It is also easy. An epithet is an adjective or phrase expressing a quality or attribute regarded as characteristic of the person or the thing mentioned. So what is an epithet? An epithet is an adjective or phrase expressing a quality or attribute regarded as characteristic of the person or the thing mentioned. Okay, so what is an epithet? So epithet is an adjective or phrase. So what is mean by an adjective? An adjective is a word which qualifies the noun in a sentence. Okay, you know that what is an adjective? So adjective is a word which qualifies a noun. For example, he wears a beautiful dress. Okay, so what is an adjective here? Beautiful is an adjective qualifying the noun dress. Okay, so this is adjective. And what is a phrase? A group of words with incomplete meaning is called as phrase, and the phrase la enna irukadu, there will not be verb in that phrase. Okay, a group of words without incomplete meaning is called as a phrase. So or epithet eppadi irukkalam, it may be an adjective or a phrase expressing a quality or attribute regarded as characteristic of the person or the thing. Okay, so that word or that adjective or phrase will refer to the characteristic of the person or the thing mentioned. See, for example, grumble family. Okay, so here grumbling is the characteristic of the family. So grumble is an epithet. Okay, complaining street. So complaining is the characteristic of the people living in that street. Okay, so here complaining is an epithet. So I'll give you one more example. See here, look at this one. King Harold inherited the titles of his father Halfdan the Black and swore an oath not to cut or comb his hair until he had become sole king of Norway. He was called Harald Tanglehair and became known as Fair Hair after unifying Norway. First of all, you have to understand the meaning. King Harald inherited the titles of his father Halfdan the Black. So Halfdan the Black is the father of King Harald. And swore an oath, ஒரு oath எடுத்துக்கிறார், ஒரு promise எடுத்துக்கிறார். யாரு? King Harald. What oath? Not to cut or comb his hair until he had become the sole king of Norway. Okay, so நான் ஹேர் கட் பண்ணிக்கவும் மாட்டேன், ஹேரை காம் பண்ணிக்கவும் மாட்டேன், எது வரைக்கும் சோல் கிங் ஆஃப் நார்வே. சோல் கிங் ஆஃப் நார்வேனா என்ன? இண்டிவிஜுவலாக அவர் மட்டும்தான் கிங்குக்கு நார்வே, வித்தவுட் எனி சப்போர்ட் ஆஃப் ஹிஸ் ஃபாதர். அவங்களோட அப்பாவோட எந்த ஹெல்ப்பும் இல்லாமல் நான் மட்டும்தான் ஒரு தனி கிங், சோல் கிங் ஆஃப் நார்வே ஆகிற வரைக்கும் ஐ வில் நாட் கட் ஆர் காம் மை ஹேர் அப்படின்னு கிங் ஹெரால்ட் இஸ் டேக்கிங் அண்ட் ஓத், ரைட். ஸோ ஹீ வாஸ் கால்ட் ஹெரால்ட் டேங்கிள் ஹேர். ஸோ அதனால் அவர் என்னென்னு சொன்னாங்க, அவர் ஹெரால்ட் டேங்கிள் ஹேர் அண்ட் பிகேம் நோன் ஆஸ் ஃபேர் ஹேர் ஆஃப்டர் யூனிஃபையிங் நார்வே. ஸோ நார்வே யூனிஃபை பண்ணதுக்கப்புறமா அவரை என்னன்னு கூப்பிட்டாங்க, ஃபேர் ஹேர்னு கூப்பிட்டாங்க. Okay, so this is an example. Now here you can you identify any epithets here? Okay, so you can pass it and you can try identifying the epithet. Okay, so I will tell you. So here what is the epithet is, Halfdan is the name of the name of whose father? King Harald's father. Okay, so அவரை என்னன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க இங்கே, Halfdan the Black. Okay, so this black is qualifying whom? Halfdan. Okay, so here the black is an epithet. And also here king of Norway, we will call as king of Norway, but here sole king. Okay, so what they are telling, sole king. So here sole is an epithet. Next, he was called Harald Tangle Hair. ஸோ ஹெரால்டு எப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க, எப்படி அவரோட கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக்கை எப்படி சொன்னாங்க, ஹெரால்டு டேங்கிள் ஹேர். ஓகே, ஸோ ஹியர் டேங்கிள் ஹேர் இஸ் ஆல்சோ அன் epithet. Understand? So this is what epithet means. I hope every one of you have understood now. Now let us go back to the text. Right, so that's why we call grumble as an epithet, because it is telling about the family, grumbling family, and complaining is an epithet because it is telling about the people living in the complaining street, that is complaining street. And also we can say one more example which is familiar to you, Alexander the Great. So what is the epithet here, can you identify? Alexander the Great. What is the epithet here? The Great is the epithet. Okay, Alexander is the name of that person, the Great is qualifying Alexander, so it is an epithet. So this is what epithet means, right? Next, see, and whether the station be high or humble, pick out the alliteration from the above line. So what are the alliterated words here? High, humble. So alliterated words நீங்கள் எப்பவுமே எப்படி எழுதணும்னா, you have to write high hyphen humble. Okay, next pick out the other examples for alliteration from the poem. This you can do it yourself. Next, the weather is always too hot or cold, summer and winter alike they scold, nothing goes right with the folks you meet, down on that gloomy complaining street. So pick out the rhyming words and identify the rhyming scheme. So this is very simple. What are the rhyming words? Cold and scold, then meet and street. These are the rhyming words. So இது எப்படி எழுதணும்னா, cold hyphen scold அப்புறம் ஒரு semicolon போட்டுட்டு you can continuously you can write, or else you can come back to the next line, meet hyphen street. So what is the rhyme scheme? We can name cold as A, scold is rhyming with cold, so again A, and meet is new one, it is not rhyming with both cold and scold, so we can name it as B, and street is rhyming with meet, so again we can name it as B. So the rhyming scheme is AABB. This is the rhyme scheme. Okay, hope every one of you have understood. Thank you.